friends, I'm happy to see you again on my channel. I'm Zenia Jiao, and today we are gonna paint in this urban sketch, and we're gonna start in a minute. The colors I'm gonna be using today is Hokkien green, cobalt blue, sap green, yellow ochre, sepia, lemon yellow, ultramarine, Prussian blue, burnt sienna, permanent red, quinacridone rose, vermilion, and Payne's gray. And I'm using one brush for this work. It's this round brush, one pigment liner, one sketchbook. It's wood pulp sketchbook, square shape. And I'm using watercolors of Van Gogh watercolor. It's 18 colors. It's pretty much enough for the sketching. Okay. Now I'm gonna overlay my pencil sketch with pigment liner. It's water-based and it's water-resistant. You can do the same. You can pause the video to copy this pencil sketch. After I finish my ink overlay, I'm gonna erase. Okay, now we are moving to the next part. It's a watercolor wash, and I want to be sure it's gonna be really light. I'm using my yellow ochre and adding a little bit of quinacridone rose, more water, and it's gonna be the part here. It's a bit slightly more yellowish than the white paper we have here. So as you can see, it's a really light wash, really light color, and when it's gonna dry, it's gonna be even more lighter. Next step, I'm gonna use some of my cobalt blue and adding a little bit of quinacridone rose and maybe some little bit of yellow ochre here. It's become a bit too gray. I'm gonna add more cobalt blue. Okay, so we have this grayish cobalt blue, and we can use it to make this first wash for our roof. The roof is gonna be quite light in places, so we can even leave some white spots where the sunlight is touching the roof in some places. Okay. Gonna be a little bit darker here. Wash out some unnecessary colors here. And okay, it's gonna work like this. We're gonna use quite the same color, adding a little bit more of quinacridone rose here on the top. Okay, and as you can see, the wood pulp paper is drying really fast and it's already dried on the top. So it's nice to work with. I'm gonna add a little bit more of my cobalt blue here for the shadow part. Okay, it's nice. And a little bit more here. Okay, it's alright. Maybe we can add a little bit more splashes afterwards. So I'm waiting a little bit to be sure that it's dry, but I'm gonna add a little bit of yellowish color here, just to make it look a little bit more interesting. and maybe some of ultramarine and a little bit of Payne's gray. Oh no, it wasn't a Payne's gray, it was sepia, but okay, it still can work. Okay, we're mixing sepia with ultramarine, and I'm gonna add it in this small little corner to make it look more dark. Okay. Okay, here, and maybe some of it a little bit here. I don't want it to look too dark. Okay, nice. So we're gonna use our quinacridone rose with some of ultramarine. Okay, and I'm gonna use a little bit of this color here, so some spots of it to make it look a little bit more interesting. Alright, and now we're gonna add in more details to the roof. Okay, here it is. Ultramarine, I'm adding a little bit of Payne's gray to it, maybe a little bit of quinacridone rose. Okay, more ultramarine. Nice. And now we can see the dark parts here where we use the shadows, and we are gonna add this part of shadows. You need to be sure your paper have already dried from the first wash, so you can add this shadow parts and they won't blend into your first wash. I'm gonna edit it here and there. Kind of this. Okay, a little bit more shadows in this part. And one more time. It would be nice not to have them almost the same, because it won't look so good. But still we have a lot of this black, not black, just dark spots on the roof, and we need to make it look a little bit more realistic, just a little bit more, like just having this texture. Okay. Okay, it looks much better. But we still have a lot of work to do. We still have this part. Right. Alright. Nice. Now we're gonna add more of ultramarine. A little bit of quinacridone rose here. Okay. And I'm just trying to make it not too dark, just to have a little bit of imitation of this texture. Add a little bit of cobalt blue. Yeah, okay. of this nice, beautiful work. We need to leave this kind of light spot here on the roof and just make some parts of it darker and some parts of it lighter, just to look a little bit more realistic. It's kind of really too easy to overwork, yes. As always, we are gonna try to mix some colors, not to make them all pretty much the same tone, so it would look more natural and more interesting. We have here yellow ochre and some of quinacridone rose, and I'm adding it as well in the shadow parts here. Maybe some a little bit here, some of here, and in some parts it's gonna be even more pink. No more of quinacridone rose. Okay. Right. Gonna use more of these colors here for this brighter effect, and maybe more grays in some other parts. Maybe a little bit more blue. Okay. Oh. More paint gray, and I'm adding a little bit of ultramarine. Right. We're gonna add a little bit more of ochre in some parts, just to let it look a little bit more natural. Here and there. Okay. The more ochre here. Nice. Gonna be adding a little bit more here. Maybe afterwards we're gonna use one more wash to make it darker in some spots, but still now we need to let it dry. So I'm gonna use the yellow ochre and a little bit of burnt sienna for the next part. Okay. A little bit of quinacridone rose here, just to make it more texture. Right. And now here we go. I'm gonna add some splash. And in some parts where it's still wet, it's gonna blend together, and in parts where it's dried already, it's gonna work like dots. Alright, now the next part we're gonna splash a little bit of ultramarine and Payne's Grey here on the top, just to add a little bit more texture to the sketch. Okay, nice. Add a little bit of sepia here in our wash of yellow ochre bronzy, and there was a little bit of quinacridone rose, and we are adding a little bit of sepia to make it look darker. And I'm gonna use it here in the dark parts and shadows. I'm gonna use more ultramarine and Payne's Grey here. Alright, so now we can blend some colors as it's still wet. Maybe we should add a little bit more of sepia here. And in some parts I'm gonna add in a little bit more of ultramarine and let it blend together. Alright. See that overlaying this part with alright. And I'm gonna add shadows one more time here. Make them look colder with ultramarine and a bit of sepia. Right. Nice and cold shadows here. Right? Okay. Now I'm taking my lemon yellow adding a little bit of yellow ochre and I'm making my first wash here. Right. A little bit of colors here. And a bit darker color here in the shadow part. Right. We have the shadow parts in the upper part here, and I'm gonna add a little bit of cold wash here. Suggesting the texture of this textile. Now we're gonna use the same wash to this part. I'm avoiding the part where the light bulbs. I want them to be white. So I'm just covering this upper part. Yes, the yellow color. I'm gonna add a little bit here as well. Right. I'm gonna mix a little bit more of ultramarine and quinacridone rose, and it's gonna be the basic color for the walls. Yeah, maybe a bit more of ultramarine and maybe some of our yellows to make it look less bright. Yes, it's gonna be just like this. And I'm covering with this color the whole walls. I'm awaiting the parts of this plant. Here's the same. But as this part is darker, it's all in the shadow, we're gonna add a little bit more of darker colors here as long as it's still wet. So I'm adding more of blue colors here and maybe more purples here in upper part. Okay. Maybe I should add more yellow. And here we go with a little bit more of darker color. Okay. I like to use the colors from the palettes and not make any new mixes because it's gonna look more natural. But sometimes it doesn't work so well. So if it looks nice, you just can see what is left on your palette and just try to use it all. Urban's Kitchen lets you feel free to be able to create something loose, or maybe if you want to add more details, you just can work it with quite more attention to the details, and it all depends on how much time do you have and what style do you like, because there's no rules for art at all. So now I'm adding more shadows just for making it look deeper here. I'm using a bit more of colder wash. I'm using this mixes of sepia and other colors with the mixes of these blue colors to make it look more colder. And maybe here in this spots we're gonna need some splashes as well. Alright. Okay. Right. We're gonna add a little bit of space here. Okay. Next part is our interior. So we are gonna use still the same. It's quite still the same. It's ultramarine and quinacridone rose for the walls. Maybe more gray. It still has a little bit of paint grace here, so we can add some colors here, and we can start to make the first wash for the darker parts inside of the building, inside of the shop. To let it look more alive, it's better to not paint it all with the same color, just to try adding some differences in here and there, just to let it look more alive. Okay, we're gonna use a little bit more of paint green. All right. Okay. Just to make it look more grayish, darker. I'm leaving the spaces where are the bottles without the color, and I just want to be lighter in color than all of these parts. We can add more shadows and more layers afterwards, but the first washes, they need to be lighter, just not to overwork this painting. And I'm still can use some old washes here for the second part of the wall, maybe a little bit more pink. Yeah. Great. This is a bit too dark. Right. So here we can add darker color too. Nice. And I'm gonna have a bit of pinkish here for the doors. Right. Right. Okay. Now we're gonna add some depths to the interior inside, adding more shadows, a bit more of ultramarine and a bit more of paint gray, and just making one more layer. between the bottles, and maybe some spots here. Because it's all in the dark, we just can't see properly what is it inside, so we can make it a little bit uncertain, just suggesting something is inside, but we just don't know what it is. Right. Okay. I'm gonna add some shadows here on the floor just to make it look more realistic, and some dark parts between the bottles here on this rack. Right, and we're gonna color them afterwards. Just for now, we just need to create this depth that we can see which parts of our paint is like more far away from us and which parts are closer. So we're making it look darker in some parts. Alright, yeah, now working with shadows here and there. Okay, there's some shadows here and some shadows here. It's much easier to create shadows before we are adding color, because you can see which parts you want to make shadows, and afterwards when you add color it looks so natural. Okay. Now we're gonna add some colors to the bottles. Quinacridone rose and a little bit of permanent red for the bottles here. Some boxes maybe. We don't want them to be all the same, so we're adding a little bit more of sap green. I'm adding some sap green here. Oh, it doesn't look so green. Alright, a little bit more sap green. Okay. A bit more green here. Some pink here. Maybe some blue. It look a little bit nicer. Maybe we add some yellows here, just to make it look a little bit more alive inside. Right. More shadows. Nice. I'm gonna add some of deep green here. Hokkien green. The bottom part, it's cold green. If you don't have a cold greens, you just can mix whatever green you have with blue colors, and it's gonna work nicely. I'm gonna use my burnt sienna for this leather or whatever it is here. And it's gonna add in some nice contrast of warm colors to all of these darks. And we're gonna use a little bit more of yellow color here, maybe a little bit more of lemon yellow. I'm gonna add it here. I'm gonna use some permanent red for this classic red paper on the wall, and a little bit more of burnt sienna, adding maybe yellow ochre. For here, maybe we're gonna add a little bit of nice and beautiful ultramarine. Don't really like it mixed this way, but it's okay. Okay, maybe we can add a little bit of oranges here. I'm using my Reader. Is it Reader? Vermilion. I'm using my vermilion. Alright. Is it a bit too bright? Maybe we need to find a balance here in the picture, so maybe we can. And nice green. Gonna use my sap green to create this one. Right. Okay. Gonna use a little bit of ultramarine for these nice bottles. The darker here, the upper part, a bit darker here, adding maybe some sepia. Alright. A bit darker here to make a better contrast. Right. Okay, I'm using my cobalt blue. Adding some texture here, and I'm gonna use a little bit more of quinacridone rose with paint gray here for this upper part bottles. Right. Some places here as well. Right. Gonna use the same color here for the shadows. One more time, and we're gonna add this plant shadow here. Maybe gonna add some texture for this paper. Yeah, just a little bit of suggestion. Maybe a bit too dark. Alright, like this. Maybe even like this. Maybe more shadows. the small little details, they can help to understand. They can help to look more realistic and more interesting, because I feel the light is the main thing that we humans like to observe. So a lot of things that we can see, we see the different way in a different light, and it's kind of amazing. Right, I'm adding a little bit more of cobalt blue here for these shadows, maybe a little bit too blue. Adding some of Payne's gray here. Right. Okay. Maybe we can add some shadows in advance. In this part, and this part, and even here. Right. Making some shadows fall from our tree. And I'm gonna use my vermilion. It's nice and beautiful orange color to create some stripes here. Maybe add a little bit more of this red here and there. And it's definitely need to look like more darker in this part. A little bit lighter here. Alright. Maybe a little bit more of darker shadows here. Right. Okay. Now straight to our line. These Chinese lines are quite popular, and maybe it should be more warmer. Gonna make it in sepia. And I'm gonna use ultramarine to make the shadow part of it. Yeah. Thanks. A little bit of more of sepia here, right? I'm gonna use a little bit of sepia splash, right, for the texture here. And here is on the bottom of the doorway, we're gonna have this nice and warm yellow ochre. I'm gonna mix some vermilion with yellow ochre here for the lower part. It should be much more lighter. Don't need it to be too contrasted. Okay. Now we're gonna add some greens. I'm using my sap green. Maybe I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow here for the lighter part. Right. Okay. Now I'm using a little bit of cobalt blue and a little bit of cobalt blue for the light bulbs. Maybe some Prussian blue. Little bit of Prussian blue with a cobalt blue here. Light bulbs. Just some water. Now a bit more of sepia for the tree trunk for this plant. For some details here. And for our darker parts, we're gonna use sap green mixed with Prussian blue, and just add it here to the shadow parts of the plants. Gonna bit of green splash. Alright. One more time. Okay. Right. And more of burnt sienna on this pot. Right. Now one more shadow layer here to make it look more contrast. Bit of ultramarine. Then one more. Yeah. Right. Even more dark. And here we go. Just water. Make it more contrast. And here as well. Right. Some shadows here. Right. Some more shadows here. And a little bit more here. Here as well. Right. We're gonna add one more bright color on the top. Little bit green. Right. And after it dries, we can add the shop's name. And for the name, one more time, we're gonna use permanent red. Nice and bright. Right. I'm gonna write the name now. It is called 酒类善店. It does mean liquor store. So we start with Joe. A little bit too much of water on my brush. Doesn't work so well. Right. Next one is Lee. Shan Jian. Shan. Jian. Now using a bit more of Payne's Grey, I'm gonna add its telephone number. Okay, and the character Fu, wish me happiness, here. Okay, get some details here. Maybe some suggestion to some aerobics writers. Okay, to look more interesting. And basically I feel it's almost done. I'm gonna add the last blue splash here. Some of nice Prussian blue. Bit of water. Okay. Right. And a little bit of Prussian blue and paint spray together for some small details here. Right. Okay. Thank you for painting with me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your comment if you didn't already. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you all for watching. I am really happy you joined me for this urban sketching series, and I hope to see you next time, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. So see you.